What's going on, everybody? It's Anthony from #BeTheChange. Truth will set you free, which is what you are watching right now. Author of The Art of Doubling Down. What? So many different things. I'm also covered in stickers right now. If you don't know what a sticker is, it means you've never been to the country, but there's little things picking into me because I was throwing hay earlier, and I don't know if the hay was whatever.
Hey, my kids play with stickers. Are you sure those stickers you don't have like eyeballs or little rainbows all over you? I could see that.
I'm not touching any rainbows anywhere near me unless we're talking about the rainbow of the Lord. Like this video, share this video, go in the comments, tell us where you are watching from so we can get the algorithm kicking. I'm seeing our numbers just start to go up. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Feel the flow, hit the like button, hit the heart button, do the dance. We got some good topics today. If you're watching this afterwards, I'm going to give you a little preview, then we're going to catch up with everybody, what's going on, and then we'll start the show. So something added you're not going to see in the description. We're going to talk a little bit about some new news with Dr. Fauci. Apparently he did some things that probably we should bring to light, so we're going to bring some Dr. Fauci stuff to light. We're going to lead off with a young man from Houston that doesn't understand why he's getting criticism for playing the knockout game and knocking out a dude that didn't quite get knocked out, and whatever. We'll go over that. There's a video that has resurfaced from an interview that Abby Wambach did with an ultra-leftist, what I'm going to call black supremacist, definitely a black supremacist, talking about how white people need to earn respect. And this is what I led with, talked about. I actually agree with a statement from Hilary Clinton. God, I'm sorry. I can't believe I'm saying that. She actually had a point. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason why that she had it that's not good, but yeah, we're going to explain that one regarding Hamas. And then Karine Jean-Pierre refuses during an interview or during a question from Peter Doocy. We'll play a lot of clips today. Refuses to call the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian, all these protesters extremists, even though if anybody was like, I voted for Donald Trump, they're like, extremist. I think that's crazy. Anyways, Casey, what's going on in your world?
Not much other than I think an animal just fell down my stairs.
Is that a child or an animal?
Good point. Could be one of the two.
Do you need to check on your children? Are they okay?
I don't hear crying. I think they're all right.
You know what? Before we kick the show off, it is Halloween. We got to wish you guys a happy Halloween. I forgot about that. D, what's going on? Also, we are on Rumble as well right now. So watching from Joyzy. Hey, y'all. Sheila. Awesome. We've got I got some cash news. So we'll do cash news. We'll do Halloween fact and fiction. And then we'll get into the show, which will start with the knockout game. But cash current release date. Tentative release date is January 4th. With that said, guys, the halfway house has to agree to receive him that date. So it is a tentative date, but it is looking like early January. I've got a bunch of posts to put together for Cash as we speak for the Instagram page that he has sent me, some verbiage, some words. We're going to get that going. So some good news. Dawn, what's up? So Dawn, we were talking a little bit about the Cash release date. It is currently January 4th at the earliest. Halfway house has to agree to it. Could be a little bit after that, but that's the word. Why is nobody watching? Why are we having no viewers, no followers right now? We have 18
Halloween,
people.
Man.
Usually we're at 40 to 50 by this point. I'm very confused. So smash the like button, guys. Go ahead and do the like, share thing. How are we doing on Rumble? I'm very curious. Like, this is the lowest numbers we have ever had. Like, ever.
It's Halloween.
Oh, it is Halloween.
It's going to be a little bit lower tonight. That's
okay,
all right.
That's still half, though. So anyway, share this video because it is going to be a good one. We've got a lot to cover with that said. So it's Halloween. Speaking of Halloween, Casey, speaking of Halloween, do you I know you're Mormon background, but do you consider yourself just a Christian?
Yes.
Do you think Halloween is too pagan of a holiday?
I don't think it's too pagan, but I am not a fan of Halloween, to be very transparent. I think everybody, either you have whores or death. That is what you have on Halloween.
Which, I mean, the horse thing, I mean, that's why every college student loves it. So, it's kind of it's interesting, and I've heard multiple explanations. I always like, certain times I like the way Crowder explains things, but I back researched it after that, and I've always wondered, because I did not celebrate Halloween as a little kid, like until I got to about 9 or 10, because my mom was a born again Christian. She went from Judaism to Christianity, so she was in that heavy like, can't stay away from the devil, stay away from the devil. Anyways, it's I get it. So the Catholic faith in many ways is the one who's brought kind of the pagan and Catholic side together back when the Catholic Church was more progressive. The purpose of Christmas being put right during the winter solstice and the pagan holiday of the whatever the winter pagan holiday is. And then also with All Saints Day, which is kind of this melding of their holiday of the good spirits during the summer, and then melding it with Halloween, which is a more pagan side, was actually for the whole purpose of what I believe in, which is you have to make patriotism cool again, and you need to make Christianity in some way. You have to make it allure to the masses, and that was in fact the original reason why there was Christmas put where it was, because it's not like anybody knows to the day when Christ was born. So they put the celebration of it, they base it during Christmas on Christmas Day, which is an arbitrary date based on something that was created as a holiday. And then Halloween, same type concept. It was a way to try to bring people in a subversive way to Christianity. And ultimately, in a world where I think the right wing or the Republicans and the Christians don't have a cool stronghold on this country or on this world, you know what? If you want to wear dang costumes, wear some dang costumes. Easter as well. Exactly. So, guys, I just have to say, it's, you know what? If you don't like Halloween, you don't have to celebrate it. But please don't knock it down. I just knocked down my water on cue. We can't continue this way of like, if you are this, you cannot be Christian. If you are this, calm down. Goodness sakes, calm the F down. Let's get the show started. Where's my damn countdown? I'm on the wrong screen.
Really?
There it is. Topics real quick for season 3, episode 157 of Truth Will Set You Free. Knockout game. Kid just doesn't get why people don't like them. We already talked about Halloween. White shame. White people need to feel shame. A show from Abby Wambach podcast a couple of years ago. Hilary Clinton's comments on Hamas that might actually be accurate. Karine Jean-Pierre won't call pro-Hamas protesters extremists. And we'll talk a little bit about my favorite man in the world, Dr. Fauci. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. Casey, you ready to kick the tires, light the fires, get into this show?
Yes, sir. If you keep fake vomiting, I'm pretty sure you're going to have some real viewers vomiting.
Does it sound like what? Because I do that. I think that's a good sound, sound effect. And I can't believe, I really never thought again that I would say, I never thought that I would say I agree something that Hilary Clinton's, I just can't. Granted, before we get into Hillary and before we get into the knockout game, did you see the protester get dragged out of the Hillary Clinton, like, I don't know if it was a global warming protest or whatever the hell it was. Did you see that? The guy all of a sudden in the middle, he's a known like anti pedophile guy. He like does all these videos and he like finds people and he whatever. And he's this big, like 250, 300 plus pound dude, I think. And he gets up and middle of Hillary Clinton speaking to this group of liberals. And he goes, why was Bill Clinton on the Lolita Express 26 times? Why did he go to Epstein Island 26? And just yelling, absolutely epic. And Hillary's like, I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about this knockout game. I'm going to bring it up. I've actually saw this in multiple places, but it turns out two of the main stories that I want to talk about were on one of the best pages to follow on Instagram, by the way, the Right Wing Angel. If you don't follow it, I don't agree with everything that he posts, but I do agree with most. By the way, this is a very funny story. The Clay Travis offering $1 million to the WNBA champ if her team could beat high school boys championship team. Please note, nobody has taken up that offer because it would be ugly. And it would be the team of his choice. I think most high school basketball championship teams would probably beat any WNBA team. All right, let's watch this real quick.
Not far from peaceful Wortham Park, where he's accused of randomly punching strangers. Do you regret it?
Yes, I do.
19-year-old Alfred Lewis spoke with me about how he feels about it now.
You know, I just made a mistake, and everybody makes mistakes.
This is the video in question, first shared with KHOU 11 via the Nextdoor app. In it, you can clearly see Lewis striking a man in the head from behind before he turns around in shock.
I know, like, from the video, all you see is, like, the bad part about it, but...
What's the good part?
What people didn't see was that I shook his hand after and how I had gave the man a hug.
That is something we cannot verify, nor can we confirm that another man seen in the video getting punched and grabbed later left on good terms, according to Lewis.
I really didn't expect for it to just go so left,
because
you know.
I told Lewis that law enforcement is investigating the incident, something his mother and father were also aware of. And your mom's probably disappointed.
Yeah, she is.
Lewis said the harsh reaction to the video will make him rethink his behavior and hopefully be a lesson for others.
Before you go out and you do anything that you feel is bad or that could look bad, make sure like people know, or just don't do it at all.
Not far from peace.
Wait. So before you go out and thug your ass up, first off, he's upset about the backlash. That's assault. You should be in jail. You are an 18-year-old young man. Why are you not in jail? And he's like, before you go and do it again, well, maybe don't do it all. But if you're going to do it, warn the guy when you come up behind and be like, yo, I'm about to throw some bows at yo. This is, and the fact that the local news is okay with giving this guy's side of the story. No, the side of the story should be he's in jail. He cold cocked a guy. This hug, I believe this, like his bear. I don't believe the hug. This is mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling? Is it?
Yes.
Or is it inclusivity?
Yeah, so there's inclusivity, which is already ridiculous. This, however, is mind-boggling. The fact that like the news just was like, this young man didn't know this. The fact that news didn't go, oh wow, he's not been incarcerated for assault. This one takes inclusivity, diversity, equity, it takes DEI to a whole new level, Casey.
It reminds me of, which I think it was done in Vegas. Did you see the video of two kids driving around in a car, intentionally running into another car, and then intentionally running over a biker?
Well, I mean, it actually happened. It happened multiple times that day, and they killed said biker. And
Correct.
they're literally flipping off. That happened last week in court. They were flipping off the families of the deceased man, and they were laughing. I watched the video multiple times when it came out, and there is no remorse. And they actually told the police when they were arrested later that day they'll be out with a slap on the wrist.
Right.
The electric chair is not enough for these individuals at this point. If you want, I mean, this guy, I'm not going to say kid because he's 18. This guy literally was like, I learned my lesson because people didn't like what I look like on the video. No, because people have died from the knockout game. That's a fact. Like there has been accidents where people have fallen, cracked their head open. They've hit them with milk jug. I think they called it jugging or something like that. Like people have gotten severely hurt. I believe 1 or 2 people has died from this. So this isn't a like teachable moment to those guys you're talking about that's past a teachable moment. And honestly, the death penalty isn't enough because they're not going to get roasted for 10 years. These guys should have to endure pain, because not just because of the crime. You know what? You kill somebody, that's bad. You do the time, you do the death penalty, whatever it is. There is zero remorse from these two individuals.
Correct.
Literally, they should be required to break a bone every week they're in jail. Let's do something fun. Let's do something barbaric that maybe gets people to stop doing this kind of bullshit.
Yeah, the entire thing, this all comes back to the same situation: is there's no man in the house to hold them accountable. They're just running wild and doing what they want.
Well, no, they talked about their parents, mother and father, both live in the house.
What?
For this kid? Of this video. I don't know about the two kids that killed people.
The two kids, it doesn't seem like there is.
No, I don't believe so. But this kid, that's why he, I think, has remorse. Probably because his father was like, "Are you a dipshit?" Like, maybe, I don't know. But this kid literally, the guy, the newscaster in that story just goes, "What did your parents must be very disappointed." Well, I
thought he said your mom. Yo, mama.
I'm going to see if I can. Am I able to fast forward? I don't think I am.
Play it again real quick. It's not a long clip.
I'll let it play out a little bit.
Yeah, because I swear I heard. How does your mom feel about that?
No, I swear he said his mom and dad or his parents. So let me.
Yeah, this whole thing is just absolutely absurd. Especially punching somebody from behind like that.
The bad part about it, but
yeah.
What people didn't see was that I shook his hand after, and how I had gave the man a hug.
That is something we cannot verify, nor can we confirm that another man seen in the video getting punched and grabbed later left on good terms, according to Lewis.
I really didn't expect for it to just go so left, you know?
I told Lewis that law enforcement is investigating the incident, something his mother and father were also aware of.
And your mom's probably disappointed.
Yeah, she is.
Lewis said.
So he said his mom is disappointed, but his mother and father. So maybe it's separate home. I don't know. I don't know why he just said mom. Apparently that was a microaggression from the newscaster by just saying your mom, assuming that the dad wasn't in the house, but he did say his parents. So who knows? Either way, wow. Yeah, let's have them mow their grass all the time. Anyways, that's just culture, black culture. We'll do the next story, and then we'll talk about some of the things we've got coming up, and then we'll go into the rest of the story. So let's go ahead and keep the ball rolling. Let's see, where is it? This one. Blacktivist says white people haven't earned our respect. This is a clip from a couple of years ago that is just being resurfaced that will literally makes me want to throw up in my mouth. The actual reverse racism, the black extreme racism that and Abby Wambach, who's got, of course, got the pride flag poster behind her. Let's just go ahead and play this bad boy.
White people, you haven't earned our grace. Mm-hmm. You haven't earned our respect. Mm-hmm. Earn it.
What are you talking about?
Do the work to earn it. We don't have to. You haven't earned it.
Is that a pussy hat? One of those pink
that
hats?
Makes me feel a lot. And I think that is a reckoning for all white people, that we have to be able to sit with that.
White people, you haven't earned our grace.
We're going to watch it again. Just feel this.
You haven't earned our respect.
You haven't earned anything.
Earn it. Do the work to earn it.
Oh, the wiggle.
We don't
the liberal wiggle.
You haven't earned it.
That makes me feel a lot.
My stomach. Yeah, that's what it does.
It's the same as when people say respect is earned, and it's like, well, no, you have morals, don't you? You respect people. Like, you don't just walk up to people and start punching them in the back of the head. You respect people, but it is very easily taken away when you lose that, when you do something to lose that respect. There's no earning respect.
What
like
was
that.
Casey? What was more disgusting, her words or the Abby Wambach liberal shimmy that she did? Where you like, oh, I feel that. When she did that, that literally to me was just as nauseating as the
Yes.
woman speaking.
The only thing that Abby could have done worse is kiss her feet.
Honestly, I've seen those videos. What was
Yes.
the guy from you know who did that? The guy from
There's plenty of videos of it.
No, Chick-fil-A founder did that in an interview. Chick-fil-A, after the George Floyd incident, did that. It was on a set. It was the most awkward thing I've ever seen. I'm like, see, everybody is, yeah, we could be like, yay, Chick-fil-A, Christian. And then meanwhile, he's literally making this mockery of it's. But anyways, I think personally the shimmy was just as nauseating. Yeah, woosah. Yeah, you need to earn my. You know what? You know how black people. First off, I have to say this. I don't think black people need to earn my respect. I believe as though the individual has to earn my respect. But as a whole, if you want to earn respect as a culture, I would start with maybe calling out the fact that as a 6'2" white guy, I still have to walk on the opposite side of a street as 5 black people in a downtown of the city, black guys, and that's not because I'm racist. I actually was told that from black friends, like, be smart. I teach my kids this because percentages show, sorry, this is probably the most racist sounding thing on the planet, but percentages show if I'm going to get accosted with a violent crime in a downtown of a city, it's not going to be some frat boys. It's going to be 5 black dudes, most likely. So you know what? If you want to earn my respect, then figure out a way. And I know you're saying that I need to earn your respect, which is, that's something. But it maybe look, you know what? If you called out the bad in your race, maybe we wouldn't have race relation issues. I'm sorry.
No, it's the entire thing is absurd. Like, you don't need to be pushing the narrative that you're greater than somebody else on this planet. You are not. I don't care what you think of that person. As much as I hate Hilary Clinton, which we'll get into the topic later with her, I hate her. I am no better than her in many regards because we are all equal. As soon as you start saying you are better than the next person, that is where we start having a problem.
I agree. Now I'm gonna say that I think you're better. I think if you don't want to say you're better, I think I would say you're less evil.
Oh yeah, I don't have 97 dead bodies in my closet. Sure.
Yeah. Which everybody is saying we need to protect that 350-pound guy because there's a random chance that he might commit suicide by shooting himself twice in the head, in the back of the head. There are absolutely, Cindy, there's bad white guys. There is bad white women. There is bad black men. There is bad black women. As a percentage and as a, whatever, if it's dark at night, though, I'm not going to walk on the same side of the street. Well, you know what? It also depends the area. There's a lot of different things going on. And, I feel as though I can say that. And I really do because of the fact that one of my friends that turned into an ultra liberal black guy because he married a white woman. Anyways, they legitimately, he's legitimately the one that was like, I teach my kid who is mixed. He says that, if you're in a downtown area, it's not a bad thing or it's not racist to go on the opposite side of a street of a group of young black men. If they're specifically, I should be specific, if they are dressed in a manner that is not respectable.
100%.
You could tell what's a group of black lawyers and what is a group of thugs. I'm sorry, just same as white. Like, and that does go for, in a downtown area, you're not going to see a bunch of white trash as much walking on the side of the street. But you know what? If I saw a bunch of trailer trash, white, whatever, not that there's anything wrong with trailers, not that there's anything wrong with downtown of whatever. If you see this in any downtown, if somebody looks at the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum and they're traveling in a group, they're throwing a bunch of F words out there, they look unsavory, go to the other side of the damn street.
Down here in downtown Salt Lake, there's Rio Grande Avenue, which is just west of downtown, just barely west. And that is where all of the homeless people live. You will never see anybody walk down the big, nice paved walkway where all the tents are and there's an opening down the middle. You will never see a single normal person walk down the middle of that. You won't. They will always walk on the road or around the other way. And it's all because it's just not safe and it doesn't make just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on real quick. So I have on the bottom, if you'd like to check out our merchandise, as always, go to awake.wokestore.com. Please support us. We've got a lot of really great stuff. Do we have is Let's Go Brandon on the site right now? I know that's what I'm wearing right now. I don't know if it is.
I don't think it is. I think we pulled it off with the redesign.
We did? Then don't worry about it. Leave it off. Because most people don't do the Let's Go brand anymore. I just wore this to the gym today. It's been a long day. We got the Awake Not Woke store hats. Casey's wearing Be the Change. We got the Be the Change line. We've got Truth Will Set You Free. We've got Awake Not Woke. We've got a whole bunch of fun shirts. Please go to the website, awakenotwokestore.com. Use Awake for 15% off, please. Hold on. Tarina said, I'm 5'2", an almost albino white woman. No, you're just white, Tarina. I love you, but you're white. You don't have to say albino. Unless you don't have any eyebrows or any body hair. But I mean,
are albinos hairless? Like,
I think they are.
No.
No?
No.
No. Well.
Albinos are just white. Like a deer that is albino is white. An alligator that's an albino is just white.
But hey, alligators that are albino do not have any hair either.
I just said deer.
I thought you said alligator.
I said deer first.
Well, I heard alligator. So alligators don't have any hair if they're albino. I'm making a joke because all alligators don't. Whatever.
Fine, a turtle.
Trina says I'm so white. They see me. I feel like this is now white appropriation. I feel like that we need to have a chit chat. But I'm in by dark and live in the country, so it's all good. Why? You don't have to. If it's a full moon, you're like a headlight. You could literally be the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer of white people. It's okay.
I saw
Jeanette, why do you got to ruin everything, Jeanette? Jeanette saw an albino caterpillar last week. It was hairy.
Well, no, you ruin everything or just logic in Russo's head?
Whatever. Anyways, that's the Awake Not Woke store. Go there. In the book. So did I even have this up? So I'll make it easy the book is now on pre-order. If you want it now, I've got a deal for you. I'll send a signed copy, but you have to do me the huge favor. In order for me to get this in Barnes & Noble, I need to sell 300 copies between now and April 2nd at least. So just go to barnesandnoble.com. You'll be able to see The Art of Doubling Down. It is on Amazon, but that's a different story. We're going to do an ebook thing for that, but you'll be able to do that there. So The Art of Doubling Down, just look it up on Barnes & Noble. Email the receipt to doubledownstrategy@gmail.com. I will then email you back with the instructions. It'll be $10 for me to give you the signed copy, and that's literally just so I could pay for shipping. That's it. Make it easy. Go order Barnes & Noble. I'll give you the rest of the details afterwards. The Art of Doubling Down on Barnes & Noble. Done. Let's see. We're about to go into Dr. Fauci. We're talking health stuff. So thedrartistshow.com. This is probably our best affiliate. This is where we make, at least $7 a month. So thedrartistshow.com. BFD at checkout for 10% off. There it is. And then Century H2O, last one. The water that I drink every episode, centuryh2o.com. Use Russo10 for 10% off. If there's one thing I'm going to tell you, that it's $300 after the discount. It lasts past the calendar year. You will have more water than you know what to do with because it's right in the tap. I cannot suggest this anymore. It is a incredibly well-filtered water, as well as having magnesium added, oxygen added. It is a performance water, I'm telling you, and it's alkaline. The alkalinity is great. That's it on those there. Just do that. There's support for the page. Okay, next up. Let's see. Any other fun comments? Albinos.
Lacking melanin. That's all albino is.
Jeez. I don't know. I don't trust albino people. I don't trust you, Trina. I'm just kidding. It's probably fine.
Probably fine.
I mean, that's a whole nother level of white privilege, Casey. Think about that. There's white. She's literally what would be super white. That just sounds racist.
I'd prefer not to glow in the dark. I do have olive skin, so I turn really tan really fast. So, which I prefer.
Yeah, me too. I don't really burn. I don't burn much. I have to be like tropical weather for like 10 hours, and I don't wear sunscreen. And if anybody wants to challenge me on wearing sunscreen, you can kiss my...
No, but you want to know what you do wear? 72 layers in 60-degree weather.
Okay,
claiming
let's
it's
talk
cold.
about that, Casey. I was wearing... it was 34 degrees. I have to be outside. I was in Lawrence, Kansas this last week. So it's 32 degrees. I'm outside all the way from the dark to the light for 5 hours outside. I did not wear 2 layers of socks. I just wore 1 layer of socks, gym shoes, a pair of black jeans, no long johns, no nothing. And I wore a t-shirt. I wore a just jacket, like not a jacket, but a pullover, right? And then a hoodie, and then okay, there's a lot of layers now that I say it out loud, but I was with the jacket on the top. The jacket on the top was more of a fashion varsity jacket, to be very clear. I wasn't even wearing a hat.
Okay, Kanye.
Whatever. Sunscreen causes skin cancer, not the sun. I believe that.
Facts.
Surely that is why I don't wear it. My favorite line when people tell me, you really need to wear sunscreen because it causes, sunlight. It causes cancer. I know because I've had cancer. You have? And how many years you've been wearing sunscreen? Skin cancer. How many years you've been wearing sunscreen for? Like my whole life. Huh. Weird.
Right.
Okay.
And another thing with skin cancer as a treatment, apple cider vinegar. My grandma had skin cancer forever, and she would put it on every morning. It would keep it under control.
Really?
Yeah.
So she would just lather herself in apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, and just on wherever the spot was. Like she always had a spot on her shoulder and then one on her back.
So that's awesome. You wear the apple cider vinegar, your skin cancer gets under control, and nobody will ever want to have sex with you again because you smell like apple cider vinegar.
I did speech is hard.
Well, I was in the middle of saying it, realizing that I was talking about your grandmother anyways, which is just awkward for everybody involved. So I apologize for that.
I mean, she would really just be doing this at you. So she could take jokes.
Yeah, because she's literally full of spit and vinegar. Yes. God, that was good timing. All right, moving on. What are we going to talk about? Let's talk about Hillary Clinton. So I'm not going to play this. Do I want to play this video?
Yes.
It's 36 seconds. I'll play it.
Yes.
Why? You want to throw up?
No, I want to hear it.
Well, I was going to just read, but yeah, I'll go ahead and play it. Let's see.
Your voice is getting annoying, so I want to hear it.
I got it. All right. Okay. Hillary Clinton, this is all about the fact that I actually agreed with Hillary Clinton one time. Here we go.
For a ceasefire now, do not understand Hamas. That is not possible. It would be such a gift to Hamas because they would spend whatever time there was a ceasefire in effect rebuilding their armaments, creating stronger positions to be able to fend off an eventual assault by the Israelis. So we're in a very different world. I don't think it had to be the world we're in, but that's where we are, and we've got to figure our way forward through it.
See, I don't disagree with her.
Yeah, too bad she didn't have that type of mentality with Benghazi.
Right. No, exactly. Now, again, there's always ulterior motives. And notice she didn't say for one, again, I don't even know how to, I don't know how to say it, but what she said, I love we lost like 4 viewers, right? When all of a sudden we put Hillary Clinton on the screen. Every squirrel finds a nut. I'm sure she's got ties to Lockheed Martin. I'm sure she's got ties to BlackRock. She does. She's got financial vested interest. But in that 30-second clip, she never once said that we need to be making sure to help Israel stop this. She just said there should be no ceasefire. And I fully agree. Israel needs to keep doing what they are doing. I have made my decision. They are on the better side of history. They're not just the lesser of two evils, but Hamas, Palestine, after weeks of digging into it, I just can't care about somebody else's war, and I do believe Israel is in the right. And with that said, she makes perfect sense. What Hamas is asking for, literally, what Hamas and Palestine are asking for in trade for the prisoners, the kidnapped individuals that were completely innocent human beings, not military, innocent. Well, some were military, But for the most part, just innocent kidnapped people. They are asking for 6,000 Palestinians to be released. 6,000 Palestinians to be released from Israeli prisons. That to me is absolutely insane. Otherwise, they're not going to stop. And then they're blaming Israel for continuing to bomb Gaza. So it's just, it's very simple right now. Hamas, all they have to do is release the 200 and whatever prisoners that are left, and boom, supposedly Israel will stop bombing. And then if the bombing continues, you could then have a discussion about not doing what you say you're going to do, not following through with your promises. Then you'll probably have the UN, you'll have a lot of international communities not being okay with it. And again, people will then say, but look at all the Palestinians that have been killed over the last 5 years. Yeah, you're right. But let's look at the fact that it was 22 Israelis killed, and then the answer to that was 700 Palestinians killed. Israel is always answering what Palestine and what Hamas is doing with a much bigger doing because they're better at it. But anywho, so she's just saying and I believe Hillary's accurate in saying this, if they do a ceasefire, if they give them time, if they don't continue to move in troops, they don't continue to bomb, that gives Hamas a chance to rebuild their armament and a better chance to continue to protect themselves and prolong this. It needs to be Operation Beat the Shit out of them and get it done so that they get their kidnapped citizens back. That's my personal opinion, and I can't believe it. One time I'm agreeing with Hilary Clinton.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I don't see it happening. That's been my whole thing. That's why I'm not so involved in engaging into any of this stuff. Is Israel will not wipe Hamas off the planet, even though they can. They won't.
Why not?
And I did learn something very interesting today. Apparently, when Israel started growing and getting bigger and taking over more land, they were abused and they were beaten and dealing with all of this stuff as they were starting to build and grow. And one of their commitments in their community was they will not do that to other people. And that is probably why, speaking to what you said, they are only answering the attacks from Palestine. And that is probably true. But I still stand with, if Israel wants this to stop, and very close people that have held high-ranking positions in the military and the Air Force and the Army have always said they're not for war, but if you are for war, go and end the war. Quickly. You don't want years of war. Go and end it. And so that is the thing. We are in the modern day war that we just run wars for endless amounts of time. There is no end until we just decide we're going to leave trillions of dollars of military equipment and then fail an exit plan. That's the only way a war ends today.
Agreed. And there was, again, everything is misdirection, everything is misinformation. So if you remember the story of Shani Luke, that was one of the first things we talked about. That's the young woman that was at the festival. There's a lot of confusion about that story. It is confirmed that she is now dead. That's the one with the dreadlocks that was in the back of the truck that people are like, how do you know she's dead? When her body is like a mangled mess and legs are all over the place in the back of that Jeep or pickup or whatever that was. So she is a German Jew that was there for the festival. Her father's coming out saying some weird stuff because it doesn't match up with the mom that said that the father came out today. Shani Luke's father said that Hamas killed daughter on the spot and that she did not suffer. And he said she enjoyed herself until the very last moment. Kind of weird considering the fact that she killed her mom, or she didn't kill her mom. She called her mother telling her that she was on the run and like they were just shooting people in cars and she was scared. There's a report of that. And then there was a report that she was still alive a couple days later, that Hamas had somehow contacted the mom. So there was some lying going on, but the father is like, until about 6:45, she was still dancing, cheering, and going wild at the party. It was 6:45 a.m. Like people were just waking up. They had fun all night. Like I don't know what he's.
It was an EDC event, though, right?
What's that?
It was an EDC event.
Yeah, so they could be up pretty late, but it was kind of also like a Burning Man.
Yeah, they're up all night, man.
Yeah, but it was also like a Burning Man where like at night they kind of do like meditation and people do sleep a little bit. But yeah, I get it. But it's just very very odd that they found her beheaded. By the way, like when they found her skull, it was discovered by the Israeli military and it indicated that she had been decapitated by Hamas. I'm wondering why the dad has this big issue of being like she was having a blast and partying till the very end. Like that doesn't really match up. But regardless, I don't know why I'm questioning it so much. It really doesn't matter because it's sick and twisted either way. My question is, how is it that this was one of the original arguments from the pro-Palestinian side? Like, oh, she's still probably alive. Like, we don't know that that's her. It's not that big of a deal. No, she was violated, raped, killed, decapitated. It's where we are.
Yeah, I
that's valid.
No one can take that away. And I was going to say the same thing that Tarina just put it. It's his way of grieving. He's looking at the positive thing that she was probably going to doing something that she looked forward to all year long or whatever. And so he's looking at that as
I'll take
she celebrated her way out.
I'll take that.
Even though I will take really gruesome and bad, unfortunately, but he's looking at some good side in it.
I'll agree with that. I get that. So I guess my overriding point as I circled back at the very end is the fact that everything that people were saying was a distraction and fake news and false information. She wasn't really dead. She was dead. She was decapitated.
But this all comes to the whole narrative. So to connect this with your Ukraine, you had the same issues with Ukraine when it started. Do you remember when you, me, and Sunni, we were all on weird different stances with that war, with how it started? And the same thing is happening with Hamas and Israel, which is another reason why it's their issue. We got stuff to deal with here.
I agree.
You don't know what to believe. The hospital, they lied about the hospital and everybody blew up about it day one. And then they wanted to be first on the news with the information. And it turns out, no, it was an issue in the parking lot.
Yeah. No, I get, and I agree, like, not jumping to conclusions, but I think the conclusions people are jumping to are the ones trying desperately to be like, see, I told you it's not accurate, when it's turning out it's mostly accurate, and I can't believe it, but the terrorists are lying. I just think that there's a lot of this pro-Palestinian sympathizing.
Is the terrorist lying, or is the media lying?
The media is lying for the terrorists. They're taking the terror. Well, the thing is, the terrorists are lying and giving information to the media, and the media is running with it.
Do you trust the drug dealer on the street? No.
Right. They're going with what the addict. We're the addicts that are, consuming the information, which again, like, I don't know, the anti-Israeli movement, I'm sorry, it's anti-Semitic at this point. And I can't help but say it. Like, I'm having disagreements with all sides on this one. I'm having good conversations. Like, I look at Chad Prather's content. I look at David Harris, and I look at Ryan Weaver, and I were talking about this earlier today. And it's like, I just don't understand. I get the leftists being dipshits. I don't understand the conservatives, not the conservatives that are questioning things. You can question things. I understand that we have to question the Israeli government. We have to question the things going on. I'm not opposed to that. I'm questioning the conservatives. And you mentioned one of them earlier. I'm not surprised what side they're on in this because they've always had anti-Semitic views, but actual influencers that are on this path of being like, not just pro-Palestinian people, which I understand, but actually being core anti-Israeli, almost borderlining on pro-Hamas on the conservative side. That's sick to me. It's stupid. It's sick.
You don't know who to trust. And the thing is I hate using the term distraction because I think that's overplayed and overused in a lot of ways. But honestly, we have a lot of other issues to deal with. I'm not concerned with this turning into World War III at this point. If anything, the United States is fighting a proxy war, which we're accusing Iran of, which is very stupid.
Yeah.
And that is where I'm like, no, let's focus on what we got going on here. David called it Maui. Like, why do we have $170 billion into Ukraine and only 12 to Maui?
But speaking of funding, I know that a lot of the ultra right is not a fan now already of Mike Johnson. But if you look at, because he's pro supporting Israel and he's pro supporting Ukraine, you actually have to be listening to what he's saying. He's calling for accountability, and he's not spending a dime on it unless he pulls it from other programs that are completely fluff programs that we don't need. I'd rather it be given to the United States. I get that. But if he knows it's a lose-lose battle, you better be able to pull it from the rest of the budget. And that's what he's saying he'll do.
I'm not saying Mike Johnson is a horrible person. I am just saying he is not the MAGA person that everybody keeps putting out there. If he was, his first priority as a Speaker of the House wouldn't be Israel.
I agree.
And that is the problem. Is once you start saying, like, and I'm not a MAGA person. I'm going off of the persona of all the MAGAs out there. Make America great again. We're worrying about America first. But the first thing he does, his speech, when he gets behind that podium, he says, the first thing I'm going to do is help our dear friends in Israel, or something like that. Like, wrong answer.
Right. No, I get it.
Overall, his voting record's solid. His 2A support is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Now, he has made some questionable statements. He did say, he did call out Derek Chauvin for what he did to George Floyd. He did.
So did I the day after it happened.
Right. But he did say some questionable things that we need to have a question on. And like, hey, do you still feel this way or not? The vaccines need to be in arms. Like, hey, do you still feel that way? Like, those things still need to be answered.
Again, he's not running for president, so it's not.
No, but he can influence bills which are mandates. And he has more power where he's sitting than a president.
Right, but I don't think saying we need to get vaccines in arms is not calling for a mandate. It's calling for let's make sure we have a big enough supply, which again is completely wrong and terrible. But
it's pushing the same narrative.
I get it. All right, Peter Ducey, let's continue with the subject. The deuce. And see that I was going to say this, but she said it for me. It's the best chance of getting bipartisanship. I think he needs to be careful with his words. Like if he would have said on the Ukraine question, no, I do not support Ukraine anymore. Cause he actually signed the bill against it. Like he was a nay when they were talking about adding more funding. So again, I don't, but he said, we got to do it. By saying by saying absolutely no, I think is a bipartisan mistake. I think that's all.
I don't see him being a bipartisan person, but in today's politics, I don't think there is bipartisan anymore. It's all just a lie.
You're right. All right, let's watch this. This is a little longer.
We've been very clear about this.
I think the anti-Israel protesters in this country are extremists.
What I can say is what we've been very clear about this. When it comes to anti-Semitism, there is no place. We have to
say they're extremists.
We speak against it very loud and be very clear about that. Remember, what the president decided to, when the president decided to run for president, is what he saw in Charlottesville in 2017, when he saw neo-Nazis marching down the streets of Charlottesville with vile anti-Semitic just hatred. And he was very clear then, and he's very clear now. And he's taken actions against this over the past 2 years, and he's continued to be clear. There is no place for this type of vile and despite this kind of rhetoric.
And we hear you guys though talk about extremists all the time. It is usually about MAGA extremists. So what about these protesters who are making Jewish students feel unsafe on college campuses? Are they extremists?
If you're being very clear, why won't you just say the word extremists?
I've been very, very clear. We are calling out any form of hate. Any form of hate. It is not acceptable.
Say it.
It should not be acceptable here.
Say it.
And we are going to continue to call that out. And let me be very clear. This is a president that has continued to have that fight in his office, in this administration. When he repealed Trump's Muslim ban on his first.
So you're going to bring up a Muslim ban when we're talking about anti-Semitism, when it's the Muslims that are part of Hamas that killed a bunch of Jews. That sounds like an anti-Semitic deflection.
first day in office. That is something that this president did. He also established an inter-policy committee to counter Islamophobia,
She had to circle back. She's like, I keep talking about Muslims and Islamophobia. I got to get back to anti-Semitism, which I'm refusing to call out as extremist.
Semitism and related forms of bias and discrimination. We have taken this very, very, very seriously, from the president all the way on down.
No. Look at these anti-Israel protests on college campuses.
I love that he keeps asking.
It's nice to see that the country's youth are so involved, or does he think the next generation is doomed?
Here's the thing. There's no place for hate in America. No. There's no place for hate in America.
Hypocrites.
We condemn any anti-Semitic threat or incident in the strongest terms. And you
call it extremist.
I gave a message to students who are feeling under threat right now, right?
Call it
we're
extremist.
Tracking these threats very closely. We are there for them. No student should have to be able to go to class.
So let's be very clear. They made it very clear in that they refused to refer to the anti-Israeli, let's just say pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, anti-Israeli. Let's take away just the pro-Palestinian marches. Let's talk about the fact that there are kids getting locked in classrooms that are Jewish across the country.
Yes.
Refusing to call them extremists. We condemn it, Casey. No, call it an extremist, because right now, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you are considered an extremist. If you are a parent that goes to the school board and says, I want to know what kind of books my student is, you are an extremist. But if you are actually threatening Jews, well, we don't love the anti-Semitic rhetoric, but we won't say extremists.
You're wrong, Russo. If you ain't gonna vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black.
No. If you're not gonna vote for Joe Biden, you're not Jewish. That's my Jewish accent. I can do that because I'm half Jewish. Forget it. You have to vote for the man that believes in the Jews. Which, by the way, most people don't talk about this, but the Israelis, they love Donald Trump. They do. They have named things that they love Donald Trump.
This is all the hypocrisy in government. I'm not going to say just the left, because the right, if you pull up Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and some of those dumb idiots that are elected for some ungodly reason, they do the same bullshit. And so it is our political arena and our government that is keeping this going, and people buy it. I don't know why.
I hope they buy it if it's cheap, because it needs to be inexpensive or I do not pay.
Anyways, in Bidenomics, nothing's cheap.
I can make that joke. I'm half Jewish. All right. So,
Don't bring up an Asian person.
What's that?
Don't bring up an Asian person.
No. They're not cheap. Oh, you spend a lot of money. Okay. I tried to do my Asian guy yesterday was not working. I don't know what's going on. It just wasn't working yesterday. I had a long drive. I was thinking about practicing because I cannot do a Donald Trump, and it drives me crazy. I can't even do a passable Donald Trump. Like, that's not good, but I get what you're doing. All I can do is the hands, and that's it. Like, I can't.
The accordion hands.
Yeah. Very big. I can't. It's just not my thing. I gotta sit in a room and learn and teach myself how to do it. But anyways, what I can do is Dr. Fauci. Let's be honest. If there's one thing I can do, it's Dr. Fauci. Anthony Fauci run lab in Montana. Casey found this story just before we went on the show. And this is a dailymail.com story. So this is not a publication that's known for fringe extremism at all. So revealed, Anthony Fauci run lab in Montana experimented with coronavirus strain shipped in from Wuhan a year before the COVID pandemic began. The NIH infected 12 bats with the SARS-like coronavirus in 2018. I love that they're now admitting it's a year before in 2018. The virus was shipped from Wuhan to the NIH lab in Montana And of course, in another article that you can click the link to, Fauci is warning he has nightmares about the next inevitable pandemic. Trust me, it will come. It will. I don't know when, but I can predict that it will come. It will involve a vaccine. I will be back working for the NIH, and I will be very, very wealthy. U.S. taxpayer money used to experiment with coronavirus is from the Chinese lab thought to be the source of the COVID pandemic more than a year before the global outbreak. All under Fauci's leadership. The lab in Montana is just 15 minutes away from the Maryland presidential retreat Camp David. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Let's read that again. Maryland presidential. How is it Montana 15 minutes away? The National Institutes of Health, under Dr. Anthony Fauci's leadership, infected 12 Egyptian fruit bats with SARS-like virus called WIV1 at a lab in Montana in 2018. Just 15 minutes away from the Maryland presidential retreat. Where are they on a supersonic jet? Oh, I get it. They brought them to the Maryland Zoo. There it is. Tested on bats. They were acquired from a roadside Maryland zoo. Now,
yes.
I'm not going to lie, not the best writing. I know Daily Mail is usually pretty good. The writing on that was a little weak. They might need to fix that. So there's the whole graphic. I'll bring the graphic up. Why not? Think so, Case? Should I bring the graphic up?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's graphic 30 for all 13 of you that watch on or that listen on the podcast. I'll explain it the best that I can. Here it is.
It gives a full outline of this testing. It's crazy.
Yeah. So the coronavirus experiments on bats in 2018. So here's the wildlife preserve sent 12 bats to a Montana lab. The zoo that they got it from is 7 miles away from Camp David. So it's kind of it's not like a zoo you would take your kids to and eat the cheeseburger in the cafeteria. It's probably not one of those kind of places. The Wuhan Institute of Virology. Let's see there it is over there. Rocky Mountain Laboratories experimented with the virus on the bats out here in Montana. So they sent them from the wildlife preserve. That's the Catison Wildlife Preserve. They sent it to the Rocky Mountain Libraries. That wildlife preserve right next to Camp David. There you go. And where the Chinese scientists have found several new concerning viruses. And it's all these areas that are based off of either rats or bats. Or I don't know. Anyways, I think it's interesting. They're still avoiding the conversation about snakes because I still fully believe it's a snake, but that's just me. Recent U.S. taxpayer funded animals.
What do you mean and fully believe it was a snake?
I think it was the child because I'm a Dr. Artist guy myself. And Dr. Artist to me has put together some very damning information that I believe that this is based on research on snakes. That's just me.
Okay. I did not. I haven't heard that.
Oh my god! Have you not watched The Water?
No.
Gotta watch some of these. So as somebody that knows Dr. Artist personally and have had these conversations, like everything points to versions of snakes, which is very. I mean, there was a lot of information in the beginning that it's more tied to snakes than it is to bats. Very similar epidemiology, but it's more of a snake thing. But the people that, by the way, that just got the what's it called? The award for creating the mRNA virus. Not the did I say mRNA? The mRNA thing.
Vaccine. What is it? People
they win the award for creating something.
For vaccine.
They just
Nobel
won
Peace Prize.
Somebody in the comments.
Nobel Peace Prize.
The Nobel Prize. So they just won this. Those two people that nobody knew who they were. I had a conversation with Dr. Artist about a year and a half ago about them, and the Nobel. Thank you. I was doing a little blank there. And talked about the fact that they actually used to work for a company whose main research was actually in snake venom. The snake venom that they used to do research for was bought out by another company that was then bought out essentially to bring them into use their mRNA research mixed with all of their research on snake venoms, and they brought it into the fold. It's not coincidental to me. That's all. I think people should really look into it. But regardless, there was testing done on a novel virus that, is tied to bats. So there's a chance not a chance. Fauci was definitely doing some testing, plain and simple, in the United States a year beforehand using bats. and manufactured viruses. That's it. Simple as that. It's effed up. It's effed up.
No different than what he did with HIV, but whatever.
Who's to judge? All right. Anything we can wrap with? Any questions people have on the way out? We got about a minute, and then we're out. No, nothing.
There's a lag, dude. Patience.
Use your words. Sorry, I'm hungry.
Truth. There you go.
Truth. So I was talking to Cash, and he has a couple books he wants to write. So I'm gonna reach out to the Blaze, see if they'd be interested. 'Cause one involves one of the people he's in jail with that he's like, he wants to write a whole book on that, and then another one is just being incarcerated with all the J6ers. So I think that'd be interesting.
He could write some good books. He called me when I went down to look at the new house. He called me when I was down there just for a minute, and yeah, he was telling me he's like, have you read all the stuff I sent to Russo yet? And I was like, no.
Don't.
Russo and I haven't connected a whole lot around that yet, but
I'll send you because he was thinking that I set up a Facebook, so he wrote these long posts. I have to like break it apart, turn it into quotes, and when I told him that today, he's like, oh, Instagram. So yeah, I haven't got to it yet. I started designing some stuff, but I gotta start posting it. I also did an interview with Kendall Bailey last week. Kendall is Kendall_in_Kentucky, really big conservative influencer. We did a great show. That'll be up shortly. I've got JP Sears doing an interview in January with him. And I'm going to start pulling some other people. So when it comes to what we've talked about with the network, Truth Will Set You Free being a bunch of people under the same umbrella, we'll have all of our shows, all of Cash's shows. KSOC, Kristen, she will have her show on our network. And then I've worked with Kendall and now with Ryan Weaver verbally. They will be contributors on a lot of our shows. So we'll have a lot more content coming out, which again, we're going to be pushing to either OpsLens or Spreely and Rumble in order to actually monetize a little bit more, but have more shows, more abilities. And then the Truth Will Set You Free Instagram page will be geared towards putting all of that content out, hopefully with the help of AI, so that I don't have to do a lot of work. So that's that.
Not AI, automation.
Hey, no AI. AI meaning give them the full videos and saying make clips instead of me doing the video editing, because I don't have enough time to do all the video editing that I already do. What is that? Would you call that automation and not AI?
Yes.
How is that not AI clip? Because it's called, what's the name of the website that I'm using?
Everybody uses AI when they're really talking about just nerd stuff because it's a trendy word today, but all it is algorithms and trends and numbers.
I don't know where it went.
It's not real AI. Real AI is a problem, and we have not put a pause on it yet. And so we're getting closer to December to where GPT-5 gets released. If GPT-5 gets released, that's going to be one scary freaking release.
Oh, I'll tell you the one thing it's funny. So, all the meal prep things out there, Casey?
Yeah. All the freezer ones you buy and they're already made.
So I'm like, because I can't cook every meal with Casey. With Kelly, we're trying to have a very specific diet because she has lupus and she's having, she's the unfortunate person that's naturally ridiculously thin, but is incredibly unhealthy. Like she has a lot of pain, has a lot of issues. So it's like she really needs to avoid seed oils, needs to avoid margarine, and avoid all these different things, and also have to cook healthy. I looked at all of these, every one of them, from Factor to Eat Fresh to everyone is absolute garbage. Garbage. I found one that's a little bit more expensive. The food does not look as good. Where is it? I want to pull it up because the guy has no affiliate, and it was so funny. It's called The Vertical Diet. He has an article. He has a website. Like he's got a whole book. It's called The Vertical Diet. It's very specific. Drawing a blank on his name. Where is it? Oh, Stan Efferding. So I called to see if there was any oils. I was calling their like corporate number. Turns out the corporate number is actually Stan. So Stan Efferding picked up the phone. He's like a world-renowned bodybuilder. He's known as the Rhino. And him and I talked for a while, and I'm like, there's not, he goes, my markup, like I only make 15%, so I can't do affiliates. I'm like, I get it. But he's like, there is nothing else out there for the meal prep community that isn't absolute. If you look at the ingredient list, which is very hard to find on some of these meals, they're like this long, and it's all hydrolyzed soy, chemicals. So as much as it is easy for you, you are better. You might as well just get a microwave dinner. It's the same shit. Like absolute same shit, unless you're counting your macros, and then you're just going to be in really good physical shape, and your whole body on the inside is going to be absolutely destroyed. So, anyways, that's what I got.
Not to mention the amount of sugar and salt that is in all of that, especially salt when it's a frozen item.
Well, that's more of the microwaves. Some of these stuff don't like their actual nutritional numbers aren't that bad. They're actually pretty good, high protein, whatever, but they're using fake shit to get there. That's the ultimate problem. What's not the ultimate problem is for you to go get your Double Down strategy book, The Art of Doubling Down. It's about overcoming failure, by the way. Go ahead and go to Barnes & Noble, order that. Email me. The email is on the bottom. Where is it? Right there. doubledownstrategy@gmail.com. Send me the receipt. And if you want the book now, because it doesn't come out till April 2nd, I'll send you an email where to send the Venmo. For $10 for shipping, I will send you a signed copy of The Art of Doubling Down. I'll be sending all the ones that did order it from last week. I'll be sending those out in about a week from now. So that's the deal. That's the word. Anything else, Casey? Final words?
No, just happy Halloween, everybody. Even though I'm not a big fan of Halloween, just go enjoy a holiday and have some fun. Don't pay attention to the bullshit that's in the media.
Absolutely. And I do cook from scratch, but it's also very hard to do all 3 meals when you've got horses and responsibilities. So anyways, Shelly, I'll tell you, it's the vertical diet one. I'll put, before I get off, I'm going to put the link. The guy, I talked to him on the phone too. Really good dude. Where the hell? Son of a bee sting. Don't leave.
I got it.
There's 2 different pages. He's definitely not the most organized. Where's my checkout?
Idaho and a Dallas kitchen.
Okay, that's the right one. The one that gives you the option. The Dallas kitchen has not seed oils, but they do use a couple of the they're still really good. It's very, very small percentages. The Idaho kitchen uses only olive oil. The Dallas kitchen uses a little bit of not the actual high oleic seed oils, but it's very, 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 very minimal. So you're better off going to the kitchen in Idaho. So yeah, there it is. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
This is the diet that I prefer. Yes. And I need to go back on it and just change the way I eat and only eat that way.
Yeah.
With the carnivore, straight meat. That's all I do.
That's right. It's vertical diet. The vertical diet also works, but that's a different website. And it's also more expensive on that website. I think it's the older website. Anyways, take it easy, guys. God bless. Have a great evening. This has been Truth Will Set You Free, episode 157. Bye, Felicia.